everybody, what's going on? What do I say? You're watching the Christiana 321. I am the Christiana, and I am in Orlando. Vlog potentially coming on that at some point in the future. Is it loud? There are so many bugs here. See, if you're new here, hi, welcome. Like, subscribe, comment. If you're not new here, you can also like and comment, and if you're not subscribed, please do. What was I saying? Oh, so like a year and a half ago or something, I moved from Georgia to Wisconsin. And being in Florida this week, or this weekend, let me tell you, I do not miss the humidity in Wisconsin, just because like every morning when I've walked outside, just instant fog across my glasses. It's kind of a problem. Anyway, what was I saying? Hi. So in my last video, I said that I would be uploading twice a week. Guess what? That didn't happen. I do have several videos filmed. I need to edit them. I could be editing them right now. Like I brought my laptop so that I could do that, but I don't have time to edit and get it like exported. I can still edit it. I'm being lazy. Anyway, I do plan on doing that. I just need to get back in the flow of things, and work has been crazy in a good way this last week. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, I've got plenty of videos planned, and several of them filmed, including a vlog of this trip. It is not a couples trip though, so if you were looking forward to seeing John, he is not in the Orlando video. Sorry. I wish that he was here because it would be fun, and some of the moments this weekend would have been more bearable, or may not have happened if I had him here with me. Most of the weekend's been great. Anyway, I'm rambling. So the other thing about my most recent video where I was playing the uke very poorly was talking about the Ballinger situation. So I'm not going to talk about all of the accusations and things going on there with Colleen and her family. Spider. But I do, so one of the things is there's a subreddit that's dedicated to talking about this situation and Colleen, and it's been around for a while because other people picked up on a while ago that she might not be as she seems. So the subreddit's been going on. Anyway, as everything was unfolding and I was trying to get to like the facts, which, you know, and there's still a lot that has been proven. There's a lot that has been said but not proven, that just needs to it's there. It exists. What am I even saying right now? So I was spending a lot of time on this subreddit, basically, trying to figure out what was happening, why people were saying the things that they were saying, and then why, whatever. But one of the things that kept coming up was the Redditors, the people participating in this online forum, were really asking why people who had previously collabed and seemed to be friends with Colleen, why they weren't making a statement, why they weren't coming forward and denouncing, if not specifically Colleen, at least the actions that she's accused of using. These things are terrible, and I would not want to be associated with anyone who has serious allegations against them of this nature. Something like that. Well, some people have come forward, and the problem is the people who have come forward, like, no matter what they say, most of the time it's seen as not good enough. Some people who have been off the internet for a long time, but early on in Colleen's career had collabed with her a decent amount, like multiple times, and they appeared to be friendly. Came out with a written statement. Say, okay, well, why did they come out with a written statement? Shouldn't they, take this opportunity to say it with their full chest and like make a video denouncing her? Several people were complaining that the people who waited a few weeks to make a statement, why are they waiting so long? It shouldn't be that hard to say, I disagree with these activities. Which in some way is true. Like, if your video is just saying, I disagree with people who do A, B, and C, that should be fairly simple. However, when it is somebody who is a colleague, they're in the same industry, there's, have the same career, you start to know, like, that sometimes allegations come out that are misrepresented. It's not the full truth. You want to get the whole story before you say anything. You don't want to like put yourself into legal trouble for defamation by saying something, like denouncing a person for something that turns out to not be true or to be misconstrued in some way. And so you want to make sure that you have the facts so that you're denouncing the right people for the right things, just to legally protect yourself. And there are ways that you can say it vaguely without, specifically saying a particular person has done these things. But then you get accused of not being specific enough and not directly denouncing the person that you I just totally lost the phrase that I was going to use. For not believing the victims. And 100%, I think, especially a lot of accusations are made in good faith. Most accusations, especially if it's about SA or child harm, exploitation, that sort of thing, the vast, vast majority of them are going to be true, or at least like mostly true. But what we also know is that there are some people who misremember things or misrepresent the truth. One of the difficult things when it comes to social media and fame kind of accusations, like, is there are I don't know, it's not benefits. Like, sometimes the victim comes out a little bit better for having voiced what they went through. It's very rare, but there's that perception that can happen. And so if someone has the perception that coming out against a big name could give them 15 minutes of fame, then that person could theoretically misrepresent conversations that happened. However, again, that is like so rare. But I can see why big name people might want to protect themselves. Other thing about that is not all of these people were actually friends. It's like if you had a work colleague, somebody who worked in the same office as you, and in the halls you smile and say, hey, 'cause it's nice to have a nice work environment. And then it turns out that they did some crazy stuff. Does everybody who worked in that same office need to stand up in the all hands staff meeting and say, I disagree with what that person was doing. I think it was terrible. I don't think so. And I agree that you should take time to get the whole story. Like, you shouldn't, every time an accusation, every time drama happens, you shouldn't be whipping out your camera and immediately responding, because you're going to end up realizing, the truth is more complicated than the first story that came out. Sometimes it's not as bad as it seemed. Sometimes it's worse. Like, there is a comedian, allegedly, was just like not great on dates. And I don't know the whole story, which is why I'm not going to go into specifics, but basically he was confused about some power dynamics, is how I've seen it represented recently. But because of that confusion, and because he wasn't great, and because at the time any story against a famous person was getting a lot of coverage, that person's reputation got tarnished for a little bit. I think he's mostly recovered now, because people realized pretty quickly that it wasn't as bad as it seemed at first. It wasn't as bad as a lot of the other stories that were coming out about other comedians. And so once you got the whole story and you could see, like, with a little bit of perspective, it wasn't as bad. Now with the Colleen stuff, just more bad stuff keeps happening. I don't think it's gonna get better, but also you don't want to make a statement, say, this thing is bad, and then more stuff keeps happening, and then every time a new thing comes out, you have to make another statement and say, and this is bad, and this is bad. Because again, if you're too vague, if you're too open-ended with it, then you also get called out for not being sincere, not being specific. I don't know, it's such a difficult thing. And I know a lot of the very big name people probably have press. Maybe not a team, but a consultant that they can talk to about how to handle the situation, but that also takes time. And I feel like most of the time, you're gonna take a moment to figure out what you want to say and how you want to approach the situation. Even if whatever it is, it's gonna be anti that person, anti that activity that they were participating in. How you say that is important, and how you present that is important. It doesn't mean that you aren't against them, though, just because you haven't said anything yet. The other thing is, if I worked with somebody 10 years ago who, turned out to not be a great person. Okay. If I worked with somebody 10 years ago, I quit the industry. I'm no longer at that company. I'm no longer even, working in the same realm as that person. And then it comes out that they did some horrible stuff. Do I need to go back and announce to the company, hey, I don't like that? Once you're out, do you need to respond to everything that's happening at your old company? I don't think so. It's a little bit weird with social media because you are a very, front-facing representative of your brand. Um, and even if you quit the industry, like, you are still the main representative for your brand. Um, so do you want to protect that brand? Oh my gosh, this video is getting so long. Do you want to protect that brand by denouncing somebody who was once associated with your brand through video promotion? I don't know. But then the other thing is, some of the OG YouTubers who came about started getting notoriety at the same time as Colleen Miranda. Some of them have come out saying, like, they knew she was real. She knew some of the things that were, no. Some of the OG YouTubers have come out saying that they were aware that she was like this. And so, those other YouTubers that she collabed with early on, how many of them knew? Some of them, we have, oh my gosh, I'm being so vague in this to protect myself. Allegedly, so Shane Dawson on a talk show, I don't know what the talk show was, if it was a, online streaming, whatever. He talked about how she really enjoyed gossiping and wanted to know all the tea, all the secrets behind the scenes. But then we know that her friendship with Trisha Paytas was not as open. Trisha didn't know that Colleen, at least she didn't know that Colleen was as mean to her. Colleen was mean to Trish behind the scenes. That doesn't mean that Trish and her didn't gossip together, though. So if somebody will gossip with you, they'll gossip about you. Just putting that out there. Just rule for life. But yeah, so I guess basically my thought is, when something happens, who all should be expected to respond to it? Because like her family, who she's close to, and they have large social media presence. They are posting videos, and they're still posting social media content. And as far as I know to this point, I've been kind of out of the loop for a little bit, because like at a certain point I just said, okay, there's no coming back from this. I'm done. I'm still seeing some stuff that just pops up in my natural YouTube feed, but I don't follow that subreddit. I'm not participating in that discourse anymore. But so her family members who, are currently in her life and currently very active on social media, should they be expected to respond? I mean, kinda, right? Like, it's one of those things where silence usually means that you're on the side of the oppressor, the person being accused. If you're not speaking out against them, it gives the implication that you're on their side when you are still actively in their life. But we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I'm sure that they're all talking and trying to figure out how they want to handle it moving forward. But they should make a statement at some point, right? Maybe they have, hopefully. It sounded like at least her sister was going to make a statement, like she was saying things that seemed like she was leading up to being ready to talk about it, but I don't know if that's happened yet. Anyway, so there's a lot where it's just like, the people who are accused and their family are still real people, and they need to figure out in their family dynamic what that looks like, and what level of support of the human, even if you don't support the behaviors. Did they know about the behaviors? There's a lot of speculation around that, but we don't know. Some of the behaviors, like, we know that they were aware of because they were happening on stage when the family members were nearby. So they were aware that those things were happening. They might not have been aware of some of the behind the scenes accusations. We just don't know. So, yeah, I think people who are currently, recently heavily associated with the person, I feel like should probably make a statement and make it soon if they haven't already. I don't expect every OG YouTuber to respond every time there's drama with other OG YouTubers. I think that that's a little ridiculous, especially if they haven't collabed in years. Like, as far as we know, they've already cut ties behind the scenes. Some of them that have collabed more recently, it would be nice, but also, I don't think that it's necessary to speak up every time there's drama with your coworkers. And this is a little bit more than drama, especially some of the accusations that are a little bit more serious. But yeah, I don't know. Like, two of the people that I saw, like some of the people that I saw get mentioned as, why aren't they responding? They should have put out a statement by now. How is it taking them this long to respond? Two of them were recently diagnosed with cancer, unrelated to each other than the fact that they were both on YouTube and are still making video content and stuff. But they're a little busy. They're probably not following, every detail of what happened with every OG YouTuber, Then yeah, there's a bunch that they haven't posted any videos in several years. You think that they're gonna come back just to make a statement denouncing an old colleague? Like, if they do, cool, great. But if they don't, I don't think it says anything about them other than they're retired. They're doing their own thing. They're on to the next stage of their life. They don't want to be brought back into ridiculous social media nonsense. And I think that should be okay. Like, if you were far enough removed, and I don't know where that line is, but if you are far enough removed and you haven't been, supporting them in the last few years, then you don't have a responsibility to make a statement. I don't know. There's so much, and I could ramble about this forever. It's already been 23 and a half minutes, so I should probably wrap this up. Nobody's still watching this. If you are still watching this, cool. Hi. Thank you. If you're still watching at this point, you should probably subscribe, because if you're still watching and you're enjoying it, I guess. This happens sometimes. It's not every video, but I should have gotten more sleep last night. That's the truth. I gotta check out here in a little bit, so I'm gonna try and get it uploaded before I have to check out. We'll see. It's a Sunday. Do I do a Sunday video, or do I wait till Monday to post this so that it's in peak YouTube time? I really don't know. I think I'm just gonna post it because I'm bored and I haven't posted in over a week. I hope that you guys have seen the lizards walking around behind me. Over there's several on the screen. All right, I'm leaving now. All right. Good night, sweet dreams.